Perfect. All right. So, Melissa, we're going to start with just taking a few deep breaths like last time. I know you're not able to be on video at the moment, but just on your own. That way we can get present and just clear for the day. So we're going to do a square breathing exercise where we are going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Just a few times so we can get center. So let's go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 4. Hold. Inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale for 4. Hold. Inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale. Now just a few normal breaths. If you can make your breath audible, do that. Just try to get centered and clear for the day. If there was anything that bothered you or that got you excited, just go ahead and put it aside for the next few minutes so you can be present in this conversation. And just thank yourself for showing up, for being here, and for taking care of yourself. One more deep breath and exhale. Perfect. All right, so welcome to Whole Person's Health for Entrepreneurs. And if you see me looking down, I have a few notes to go over. And well, the purpose of this class is just to bring some awareness to you about your health, just in general, all the important components and integrative components of your health. So you can be supported and have the energy and the stamina and just to feel good so you can go out in the world and do whatever it is that you want to do. In this case, it's tailored for all of you girls around building your business. So that's the purpose of the class. I'm just going to introduce myself again. My name is Fernanda. I like to be called Fer. I was born and raised in Mexico, and I've been living in Houston for the last 9 years now. I have a background as a medical doctor in Mexico, and when I moved here, I discovered my passion for just holistic health in general. So I became a health coach and a yoga teacher. And through Natalia Benson's business coaching, I was able to turn that into a business. So now I'm doing one-on-one health coaching sessions. And that's something that I'm doing part-time. So that's part of why I'm here. And I want to go through some of the basics of health and just kind of taking care of yourself in a very whole and integrative way. So if you have any questions at any moment, you can go ahead and raise your hand and we can talk about that. So to start, why whole person's health? Well, I really believe that balance is key. I think that it's really important to fill your cup so you can fill others' cup. And like I said, this class is very tailored to entrepreneurs and girls that are building their businesses. So that's obviously going to take a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of like just your vital self, just your energy. So in order to do that, you need to be full. You know, I know we hear about this, as at least I hear a lot about these entrepreneurs that don't sleep, just hustle day every day and somehow make it. And I 100% respect that. And I really think that there's a way to do it while taking care of yourself. That way you can bring the best of you to your clients. So that's part of why, like I mentioned, I got my certificate for health coaching through a school called Integrative Nutrition, sorry, Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And they talk about some core concepts that I want to share with you so we can have like this understanding of this is like the umbrella that I'm using for this class. One is the concept of bio-individuality, and this means that everybody's needs are unique. So they apply it a lot to food, but it can be done with anything. So in regards to food, is like one person's food is another person's poison. So that's why sometimes like veganism or high carb diet or low carb diet or anything else can work for one person, and it's 100% like the opposite for someone else. So I want to touch on that real quick because sometimes we're really hard with ourselves when it comes to sleep or food or dieting or exercise or business or anything else. We think that because it worked for a lot of people, that's how it should be for us. In this case, like while building a business, sometimes it can look like the only way to be successful is just work all the time, all day, every day with 3 hours of sleep. And it might work for some people, but it might not work for you. So just remember that bio individuality is the unique needs of a person. So that's something to keep in mind, even for you with your clients. So you don't apply the same approach with everyone because they're obviously going to react differently to it. So that's the concept number one. And concept number two is primary and secondary food. So primary food is what's going to nourish you, like from within. This is like true nourishment for your body. And what that means is their main four components are relationships, spirituality, physical activity, and an inspiring career. Those four things are what are gonna nourish you, like the main thing. And then secondary food is what's on your plate. So we're gonna touch on that a little bit later. So far, do you have any questions?
No, but I do love, what did you say the term was, bio individuality?
Correct.
I love that. I mean, like I like the concept, yeah, like I knew and got, but like I'd never heard of it like that. So I just like love that. Yeah. It's so
Awesome.
important that like that we like just realize like we at the end of the day nothing's a one size fits all, and like yeah.
100%. And I love when I learned that because sometimes you hear people that are like vegan. I was vegan for 3 years and it worked for me perfectly. I felt amazing. And then towards the end of those 3 years, I was craving chicken. My stomach was super bloated with smoothies. Like things change. So it's something I think it's important to remember too that that bio individuality applies to yourself too. Like sometimes there are phases in life where things are going to work out for you and others where, you know what, it's time to change the diet or the exercise or the approach I'm having with my business or the time where I work out. Maybe you used to be a morning person and now you work out better at night. So it's these things that just to remember like everybody has unique needs. So I think that is awesome with health, and thanks for bringing it up like that. And also with your clients because it's something to remember, right? Like everybody, and in your case that you work with people around self-love, like everybody's journey is going to look completely different. So something to keep in mind.
Love it.
Thank you. Awesome. Perfect. So that's the whole like the main core thing, bio individuality, and then primary food, which is the nourishment principle, like the main nourishment, relationships, spirituality, physical activity, and career. And then secondary nourishment is your food. So I'm gonna touch on this real quick, and maybe this is something that I can share whenever I do put this on YouTube, but I'm gonna share my screen just for 1 second. Um, Perfect. Hope you're able to see this. So this is a tool that if you're able to do it now, Melissa, that'd be awesome. If not, 100% I can share this later with a video. But these are like the main areas of people in order to be like balanced and under an integrative umbrella. So it is spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, and joy. So whenever all of these are balanced, let's say like that's when you feel your best. So one exercise that you guys can do on your own, we won't have time right now, but I'm gonna share this, like I said, is you print this page or you can copy or make a drawing that's similar to this. And then what you can do is start evaluating each one of the areas. So it really is a moment of reflection to just think about, okay, how am I doing with my creativity? Am I being creative at all? And that doesn't mean like necessarily doing things with your hands, but it can be, yes, like cooking, or it can be I'm creative with my time. Like I have 20 minutes and I always find something fun to do. Or I'm creative with my kids or with my pets or with my husband or with my partner or with my friends. Like, how am I doing with that? If you feel like you're doing really good in that area, just go ahead and put a dot towards the end, um, like the border that's outside. If you feel like, so, okay, let's go more towards the center. And then if it's something that's doing really bad, then we go ahead and put it closer to the center. What we're gonna do is we're gonna evaluate each one of the areas. And then at the end, we're gonna put those dots together. And ideally, in a perfect world, you want to have all your dots at the edge of the circle, because that's what's going to create a perfect circle. And that's when all of your areas are aligned. If you have a few areas that you have some work to do on, then your dot's going to be more towards the middle. So whenever you put your dots together, that area, I mean, the circle is going to get distorted. So that's perfect, because then we know like this is an area we need to work on. So I'm going to share these two with you, um, just for your own. Let me see. Let me try to get it into this. Stop share. Perfect. Awesome. Was the exercise clear, Melissa?
Yeah, I definitely really liked it, and I just agree with all those categories.
Yes, it's really important. And some of them we don't even pay attention to. Like home cooking, it might not even be something that you do on the daily, but just knowing that a few times a week, you know what, like you take time to nourish yourself and to prepare yourself a meal. So I'm going to share that. If you want to take advantage of that now, you can go to the chat and I share the file there. So I guess you can probably click on
Oh,
it and save it
nice.
on your computer. That's probably going to make it easier.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so now I'm gonna quickly touch on each one of the areas, not the 12 of them, just the main primary and secondary food ones. If you have any question at any time, just raise your hand. So the first one is gonna be relationships, honest and open relationships. There are 5 types of relationships: friendship, love, touch, intimacy, and sex. These 5 types of relationships are the ones that are going to nourish you the most within the area of relationships. And something really funny when I learned that is that the same person cannot fulfill the 5 of them for you. Sometimes with our partner or with a friend, we're thinking they're going to be able to do all of that, be our friends, give us love, be touchy, or be like somebody that's more affectionate, intimate, somebody that you can have like very intimate conversations with, and sex. And sometimes we have these high expectations of our partners, and just so you know, it's really rare and sometimes not even fair for us to expect the 5 things to come from the same person. So that's something that I thought I just would touch on really quick, because when I learned that, my mind was blown. I was like, this makes all the sense. Sometimes we can be hard on ourselves or our partners for that. And I really think it's important to start looking at whenever we feel lonely or when we rate the relationship area low, is to look again into friendship, love, touch, intimacy, and sex, and see which one of them is actually missing for you. Because it might be that you have a lot of friends, but you don't have an intimate friendship where you can talk about just anything. So um, that's something to keep in mind for sure. And that same person cannot fulfill all of them. Communication, as we know, is key, just clear and direct communication. It is something that I would like to share with you is getting clear on what are you committed to in that relationship. Just like when a husband and wife exchange vows in their wedding, they're talking about like their commitment. Like, I'm committed to loving you through this, and I'm committed to supporting you, and I'm committed to what. I think that with, maybe we're not able to do it with all of our relationships, but at least with the main people in your life, it's important to get clear on what are you committed to. Maybe like with my husband, I'm committed to him having a life that he loves. That's my commitment with him. What that means is whenever he has these crazy ideas of like, I want to, he's a kickboxer. So sometimes he's like, I want to go into an MMA tournament. And I'm like the opposite, right? Like, I'm super relaxed and I do yoga and we're opposites. But for me, it is important to remember that I'm committed to him having a life that he loves. And having a life that he loves looks like he likes to get in the cage and have an MMA tournament. So that's whenever you can take actions that are aligned with your commitment. And that's going to fulfill on you because you created that commitment, and it's going to fulfill on your partner because you're obviously supporting them. So, not just with partners, but with friends. Like, what are you committed to in a friendship with your parents, with your siblings, with your boss, with your coworkers? Are you committed to have a friendly relationship at work? Then, when conflict arises, just remember that. Like, I am committed to having peace at work and having a friendship at work or having a cordial relationship at work. So that's when you remember that and you're able to take action that are aligned with that. So um, something that's really awesome that Melissa Ambrancini said, she's an author and podcaster that I love. And she says that expectations ruin relationships. And I 100% agree with that. Sometimes, or all the time, we expect people to show up a certain way. And we forget that, I mean, they're going through their own stuff and everybody's doing the best they can. And whenever they come and do something, it's important for us to just get present and have some gratitude around it and just kind of be with it instead of thinking that it should have been differently. So expectations ruin relationships. And
I
oh,
was just wondering who the author was you mentioned.
sure, it's Melissa, and I can put it in the chat because I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Ambro, I don't know if it's
Oh yeah,
Ambroncini.
yeah. I know who you're talking about, like Ambrosini, like
Yes,
something like that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
she wrote a book that said something about Mean Girl, and for some reason I forgot the what is it? Something your inner mean girl.
Right.
I
Yeah.
forgot. I forgot. Yes, but she said that, and I was like, absolutely, expectations ruin relationships. If you
Yeah.
are not sure about that, just give up your expectations for 3 days. Be like, I'm gonna show up with my partner, with my friends, with my family, with no expectations. And you're gonna see how your interactions with them are completely different. So that's something really I thought it was really cool. All right,
Love it.
awesome. So that's my little summary of relationships. We're gonna move on to, and we're gonna kind of move on through all the areas a little bit quickly. But the second one is spirituality. And I don't want to touch on this too much because all of you girls that are with Natalia are obviously doing some spiritual practice and are very familiar with like wellness and meditation and all of that. So I just want to say here that something that's really important around spirituality for me that I would love for you to just bring to your awareness is sometimes we have like a routine, right? Like in the morning, I get up, I meditate, I journal, I do yoga, whatever it is for you. But sometimes we have those like bad days where you don't feel like doing absolutely anything. And you can think, okay, meditation would be awesome. Like it would actually help me. But you know what? Eating this feels nicer, or just watching Netflix sounds so much better than that. So, what I want to say about spirituality is there is something that is called like a practice that moves you forward. So whenever, especially for all of you girls that are entrepreneurs and are building your business, sometimes we're gonna have days where you don't feel like doing anything, or you don't feel like you're worth it, or that anything's worth it, or you're simply tired, or you have zero creativity. Those days, it's important to have a practice that's gonna kind of be half and half. the first half is giving yourself permission and the space to acknowledge your emotions, to feel your feelings, to give you full permission to feel what you're feeling for a certain amount of time, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or 2 hours, whatever works for you. You give yourself that time. But then you know that after that time, you need to move into a practice that's going to shift your way of being. And this practice is important to have something identified from your routine that you know it makes you feel better. Maybe meditation relaxes you, but it doesn't really shift your state. It could be just like jumping, like bouncing, on putting music and dancing. Like, what is it that as soon as you do it, you can't help but laugh or you can't help but smile? It could be a podcast you listen to, or a YouTube video you like to watch, or a song. So something specific that you know you can just open your phone and put it and it's gonna be there. So in regards to spiritualities, religious or not, it is important to have a spiritual practice. And like I said, all of you most likely are experts on that. If not, Natalia is. But just remember to have something that's going to give you the permission to feel your feelings, and then the immediate action that you can take without thinking too much that you know is going to shift you. Once you shift, then you're able to move forward with whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur, with your business, with your clients, just something that gives you again like the energy and the state of mind and state of being to just show up for your people and your clients. So that's in regards to spirituality. So far we've done then relationships and spirituality. Any questions around that?
Um, so overall, no, because everything is very clear. I love everything you're talking about. I guess with relationships, I think that we often kind of like, I think we often talk about love when it comes to relationships, in terms of like like a romantic partner. But does that like apply to like family, friends? I know you were saying like obviously not one person like fulfills all of everything on the wheel. Um, and like, I mean, does that also include like relationship to self as well?
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that. I don't even know if I said it because I put it like at the end of my notes. I was like, relationship with yourself is number one.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I really think that it applies to everything. And I think that even those five things, like you can some like we can like one of those, like to give to ourselves, because we can be like friendly or like even have intimate conversations with ourselves. But at the end of the day, we really do need people, like social
Yeah.
interaction and other people. So obviously those five things, like they're gonna come from different places. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes? Or was it more like, does love apply to like the area of love? It's not only romantic, right? Like it involves, like you said, family, friends.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I guess maybe it was more of a comment, and like I think that we often just think about like romance as a society more, and like yeah, that like kind of like what you were saying, like your partner is not going to fulfill all of those,
Yes.
all of those areas, and that like maybe your friend, your mother like fulfills them, or
Hmm.
um I guess it's like, maybe I guess my comment is like maybe more that I haven't really, I feel like we don't really see that modeled maybe as
Yes.
often.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And the way you said it at the beginning, like when we hear love, we think about like romantic relationships, right? But what happens if you're not in a romantic relationship? Then there's no love. Like it
Right.
is important to read. I absolutely love your comment. Thank you for bringing it up, because definitely from those five things, I feel like love is the one that we hear the most. And it can be centered like friendships and love, like friends and then a partner. But it's like, no, it can be love from your dog too. Like it can, anything that brings you that
Yeah.
sense of like acceptance and love and just kind of comfort. So For sure. No, I love your comment. Thank you. Thank you for that. Awesome. So we're going to move on to physical activity, which is the third primary food. And something to remember about physical activity is it should be enjoyable. If you're not enjoying it, it's probably not the best physical activity for you. I have a combination that I love to give to my clients, and it works for me. And just to remember, by individuality, it can work and it cannot work for you. But I do think it kind of targets all the important things in your body. So the first one is a combination of, well, it's a combination of cardio, weightlifting exercises, and yoga. So cardio is obviously going to get all the toxins out of your body and the body pumping and oxygen into your cells so they're able to regenerate and just grow. So cardio is really good for that. Weightlifting is really good if you want to obviously just like tone yourself a little bit, get stronger, not even necessarily about the looks, which obviously it helps with the looks whenever you're doing a weightlifting. It creates thermogenesis, so it creates some heat, and heat is going to help some of the fat go away if that's one of your goals when exercising. And if it's not, it still helps because I mean, most of our body is made, a lot of our body is made of muscle. So you want to exercise that muscle. Something that's really important that I heard on a podcast a long time ago was that cancer patients, for example, they part of why they pass away is because the loss of muscle. So it is important to always exercise your muscles and just kind of get stronger and get them a little bit bigger. You don't have to be like exercising like crazy, but just knowing that you gotta take care of that component so you can have the strength as long as you can. So that's the second component, and the third one is yoga or any other type of flexibility and stretching exercises. So again, it's cardio, weightlifting, and yoga. So these three things together are gonna like just target a little bit of everything in your body. Um, Something to remember around this is, like I said, in the like bio individuality, what is it that you enjoy doing? And if right now you're going through something where it's like nothing, like I don't really feel like exercising at all, what do you enjoy doing as a kid? Do you like to play volleyball or soccer or running or tennis? Like, what do you enjoy doing? Because most likely it's going to go around that a little bit. It's going to have you have some like good memories and positive experiences related to that. So if you're struggling with exercise or we're starting to exercise, just think of an activity you used to enjoy as a kid and maybe start there. At the end of the day, what's important is to move your body. Just as part of our spiritual practice, it's important to just kind of be grateful for what we have. We're healthy, we're here, we're able to be in this conversation, we're able to be in a business coaching program. And what's carrying you through that is your body. So don't leave it till the end. I'm going to touch on some like sleep hacking at the end of this talk real quick, but I just wanted to kind of bring it together with your body. Like don't leave that to the end. As whenever you put energy into this, then you're going to be able to bring that out into the world and share with other people. So just take it easy, be easy on yourself, and remember to do something that you enjoy. Then next step is inspiring career. I mean, I'm not sure why, like how much I can talk about this, because all of you are here because you have a purpose, you're clear on that purpose, and you're working towards making that happen in the world. And what I want to say about inspiring career is we know that a lot of people have 9 to 5 jobs that they hate, or even like businesses that they own that no longer fulfills them. And I just want you to know that when it comes to career, it can seem simple or like this component of my life, but it is, no matter how much you care about your job or not care about it, it really is something that's going to nourish you. Because most of our time, I mean, most of our day we spend it at work. So it is important to have something that you're very, if not passionate about, because maybe you're building your business, but you have a full-time job, like having something where you find some purpose on it. And if currently you're not finding purpose in it, it's important for you to either reflect and be like, am I able to find purpose in it? Maybe you're doing working in a doctor's office or on a vet clinic. Are you able to generate within you some purpose, even if it's temporary, but something where you can go and know that you're doing that for a reason? Or is it a job where you cannot absolutely find anything positive or any purpose in it? If that's the case, then it is important to just start looking for other opportunities or start looking at other options. But just know that, yes, let's build your business and hopefully we'll get there. You want to, maybe you want to do that full time, and that's awesome. But in your current job or career, if you're not happy, that's going to affect all of the other areas. So just something to think about when it comes to your business. I mean, you're having coaching from the best, from Natalia. So something that she told me that has completely changed the way I do my business, and we've talked about this before, Melissa, but just taking imperfect action consistently. Stop being hard on yourself. People love seeing beginners and people love seeing mistakes because we all like to be related to, and we all like to know that if she can do it, I can do it. And we all love to feel like, hey, like she's showing me the way, and the way is imperfect. So that's a lot more relatable than anything else. So if you're struggling with taking action, just remember that. Just give yourself permission to be imperfect, to do something, and just know that, I mean, you've been succeeding at life. That's why you're here. So if you make a mistake, just know you can change it. You can always go back, adjust your niche if that's what it is, or adjust your website, or adjust your client, or maybe you don't renew whatever it is you're with your client. Whatever it is, like it has a solution. So just keep moving forward. That's when it comes to career. So far we thought a little bit about relationships, spirituality, physical activity, and career. Any comments or questions so far?
Actually, this is like, I feel like this is kind of exciting for me because I never usually comment on physical activity, but I have some comments slash
Mhm,
shares. So for most of my life, like I didn't have a great relationship with my body.
mhm,
A couple years ago, and I've done yoga prior, I've done things prior, but really it was a couple years ago. I like had like basically this like amazing year of yoga, and like
mhm,
that was amazing. I fell off a little bit, and then as of recent, like this year, I've I'm doing a little bit of yoga, stretching, but kind of my number one thing right now is like walking. Like I love walking, and you know, I'll walk like, you know, a certain amount every week, and I'll kind of challenge myself like every day. I'll walk a certain amount, and I dance. So and I've changed my diet, and you know, I've tried to change my diet in the past as well, but like I would say this time around I've really been like there's something about this time that feels really easy and all of that. So
mhm,
the point of my share is that with all of this I've definitely lost weight, which is like really great. And it's still a journey. I'm still on this journey. um so kind of, I don't know, I feel a little shy about asking this, but like as I'm losing weight, you know, with my body changing, like, I mean, it's been really interesting with like my skin. And so I don't know if you have like any advice. Like it's just, I think my body is kind of adjusting to like loose skin and things like that. I know that like strength, which you mentioned, like strength training, I believe would be like, because I haven't done that yet because I'm kind of like, I don't want to like set myself up where I'm not like you said, like I want to chase my joy, and then, you know, I hope eventually like my goal is to like start strength training, but I'm not there yet. But I feel
mhm.
like I know that would help, but like I don't know if you had any advice on that.
Absolutely, yes. So obviously there's gonna be this period of like adjusting. And it's funny, I was just having a conversation with a friend about this because we were like, for example, during the COVID year, right? Like we're eating and eating and eating and eating and eating it, and then suddenly like it's not your case, right? But I'm like, we've gained all this weight. And then we get on a diet and then we're expecting for our bodies to just like 3 days later, we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, like, have I lost anything? Right. When you've like ate and ate and ate for months and months and months. So my point with that is it's all gonna take time. And if right now you've done, first of all, you've done amazing work. Like if you kind of fell of it and then came back and now you've been losing weight and you've changed your diet, first of all, like I acknowledge you for taking care of yourself and just showing up like that for yourself. And
Yeah.
yes, you're welcome.
Mhm.
I I think it is a period of being a little bit patient in terms of the skin now has to catch up. So if I'm understanding correctly, like that's part of what's going on. um so the skin, I mean, the way it's made and the elasticity and all of that, it has to adjust. Some tip, the one I'm thinking about doing that's not related to like weightlifting, because that would be my number one tip, weightlifting. And no, I'm
Yeah.
not even talking about hard weightlifting, like just little weights that you can do at home just to start toning up and strengthening. It's more of that than anything, like just strengthening your muscles. But dry brushing. So have you ever heard of that?
Mm. I've heard of it. I've never really done it.
No? Well, 100%. You can just go on Amazon, look for a dry brushing brush, and then every time you're gonna take a bath or a shower, just 5 minutes, just brush your skin, and that's gonna help with the circulation. One is gonna exfoliate you and get rid of all the dead cells, but it's also gonna increase your circulation. And if you can look up techniques on YouTube, so you can do it like towards the
Mhm.
lymphatic glands, so your toxins can get out of your body. But by increasing your circulation and detoxifying, then your skin is gonna be more like able to adjust. It's actually really good for cellulite too. So that would be my
Okay.
tip around that.
Okay, awesome. And so, I mean, I guess like the skin, it will adjust, right?
Yes, it will. I think you have to give it time. You gotta keep it hydrated, in and out. So tons of water. I would put coconut oil or any other moisturizer as natural as possible in your body so you can give it like the moisture to have the elasticity, and dry brushing. But
Okay.
yes, yes, it should adapt. I do think it takes time, and with some people it takes longer than others. But if you are doing what you're doing, you're exercising, you're strengthening, and then you're eating healthy, you should have all the nutrients to just kind of start toning up a little bit.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. And is it okay with you if we go over like 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, perfect, awesome. Yes, just so for all of you guys that are catching the replay, it's 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna go over a little bit. So all of that was in regards to primary food. So just to touch really quickly on secondary food is what's on your plate. So number one is your water. Ideally, and 100%, I'm always gonna keep saying it, like value individuality, whatever works for you. But you wanna drink half of your weight in ounces a day. It's just a start. If you want to start thinking about how much water should I drink, think of your weight, then half, and that's in ounces. Um, Something that I just started doing, it really changed the way my morning is going, is starting my day. People say lemon water. This is lime water. So instead of lemon, lime with warm water and a little bit of Himalayan salt. What this is going to do is it's going to provide minerals to support your adrenals. And like we know that adrenals have a lot to do with like cortisol production and energy production. So if you're an entrepreneur that's trying to hustle all day or just have a lot to do or a lot of creativity and things to do, it is important to start with your day with supporting your adrenals. That way you can have the energy to like stay like that throughout the day. If you are a morning person, you can leave your coffee for a couple hours after you wake up so that you start your day with supporting your adrenals. Maybe you're semi awake already, so you don't really need coffee, and then your coffee a little bit later. If you need your coffee, you're 100% can do that. I do recommend you that you start with your lime water with pink Himalayan salt, and then your coffee, but try to hydrate first. First thing in the morning, we obviously are a little bit dehydrated every time we wake up. So that's important. So water is number one. And then in terms of food, by individuality, whatever works for you. But I do think that a balance is key. So what balance looks like for me is every time you're gonna go eat, or at least like your three main meals, you want to have a balance of carbs, fat, and protein. So what are carbs? Carbs are carbohydrates. Uh, you want to do rice, potatoes, maybe a little bit of pasta. Carbs can come from vegetables, legumes, all of that. Fat, we want to focus on fat that's going to nourish you and it's going to bring like some moisture to your cells so they can recover. So fats, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, avocados, salmon. You can, I'm actually going to provide a list of that in my website soon, but you can also look it up like healthy fats, and that's something else you can focus on. And the third component of your plate is going to be protein. So protein, if you're vegan, vegetarian, tofu, lentils, beans, if not, everything else, right? All the meats, poultry, seafood, eggs, all of that. So it is a balance of carbs, fat, and protein in your plate. Um, in terms of if you're barely starting to take care of your diet and your health, something that I find really helpful with my clients that have never really like taken care of them like that, taking care of themselves like that, is to start by doing portion sizes. So whenever you have your plate, you want to think of palm is going to be your protein. So you're going to have a piece of chicken or meat that's more or less this size. Then your carbs, like your rice, your pasta, your bread, is going to be more or less a cup of your hand. And then fat is going to be your thumb. So a little bit of almonds, all of the nuts are really great sources of fat. Chia seeds are really great sources of fat. So you want to think about these size. And then veggies, the best, well, the way to describe it is with your fist. So a serving or two of vegetables. So you want to start with one serving of each and see how you feel. Now, it is important to remember that whenever we eat, it takes your brain about 20 minutes to register that you've eaten. So sometimes we eat and we're like, I'm still hungry, and we go for seconds, right? So try doing one portion of each, one of protein, one of carbs, one of fats, and one of veggies, and see how you feel. If you're still hungry, maybe you want to try two of veggies, see how you feel. If you're so hungry, then you can 100% opt any of those. But just to start kind of balancing your plate and balancing your diet. Any questions about that?
No questions so far, but
Perfect.
yeah, this was all really informative.
Awesome. Perfect. So the last component of this, we focus on relationships, spirituality, physical activity, and career for primary food. For secondary food, I just wanted to give you like an overall view of your plate. And now the last like little bonus, I wanted to talk about sleep real quick. If I could think of like the pillars of health, sleep is something that I've never really focused on that much. And I started to lately, and it has been a game changer. I would say is the number one thing before diet and exercise. If you are not having great sleep, your diet and exercise are not going to do for you what they could. And you're not going to have the energy to diet or the stamina to exercise if you're not sleeping right. So just a few things to start hacking your sleep. Just know that your sleep doesn't start at night. It starts the minute you wake up. So as soon as you wake up, your circadian rhythm is going to start working. So you want to support that with the actions that you take throughout your day. Like for a long time, we've heard that, you know what, before sleep, just don't be on your phone, don't watch TV, maybe dim the lights a little bit, and that helps. But it's not just what you do in the previous 2 hours to sleep. Like you want to start that since the morning. First thing to do is what I mentioned with the water, warm lime water with pink Himalayan salt. to support your adrenals. So as soon as you wake up, well, before that, open your windows, open your blinds, get outside, just have some of this, like some exposure to light. What this is going to do is going to suppress the production of melatonin, so you're going to be able to start waking up instead of just like snoozing your alarm and snoozing your alarm, and then like that disrupts your circadian rhythm like crazy. So don't snooze your alarm if possible. You can get an alarm on Amazon, an alarm clock that has like the artificial light that's gonna, I guess, imitate the sun. So you're able to get some light exposure when you wake up, and it's gonna be easier if you're a heavy sleeper. Um, Once you're awake, up and going, go ahead, drink your water with salt and lime. And throughout your day, what you want to do is try to keep your cortisol levels low. What this means is less stress, try to manage your stress with all the techniques meditation, exercise, breathing, walking outside, anything that you know is going to kind of have you a little bit more regulated instead of having like these spikes of stress. Um, Having a little bit of a low around 3 o'clock is normal for everybody, but it shouldn't leave you to where you can't do anything. So if you're feeling like that, like it is time to optimize your sleep. Um, Another little hack for sleeping is you cannot digest and repair your body at the same time. So you want to have your dinner at least like finish your dinner 2 hours before you go to bed. By doing this, you give your body enough time to digest your food and to bring all those nutrients into your blood and into your body, into your cells. So when you go to sleep, you can start that repair process. Um, so that's a quick hack that has completely changed my life too. I'm from Mexico and we have dinner pretty late there, like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then we go to bed. So now I'm trying to just space that a little bit, and you don't have to do it like at once. You can start by bringing it back 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, but ideally 2 hours at least between your last meal and your sleep. And then temperature and light are really important components of sleep. You want to be a little bit cold when you sleep. That's really important, like for cellular repair. So something I heard on a podcast recently that was funny, but it actually works, is you want to sleep naked, ideally with socks. So socks are gonna keep all the temperature in your body. I know it doesn't sound sexy, but then you're gonna have the correct temperature for your body to repair itself. So that's in regards to temperature. And light, I just got this mask that is really, really good. It's called Bucky, Bucky, on Amazon. Bucky masks are really good. They have these, they're not like all over your lashes. They have these little like cavities. So you're not like squeezing your eyes. And ideally, you want to be on a pitch black room or have one of those masks to where if you put your hand in front of your face, you cannot see it. That's how dark you want it to be. So these are just a few hacks for your sleep so you can have the best quality of sleep, the best quality of life, and the most amount of energy for you to show up and just do your work and do what you're meant to do. So this is going to wrap up all the little hacks I have around health for you. Are there any final questions?
Um, I think I'm good, but yeah, I definitely loved the reminder on sleep. Like I think out of everything, it's so basic, but like you said, it's like more important than like the other, so many of the other things. So yeah, I definitely um that's something I really know I need to work on. And also, because I am doing the other things, I am doing the nutrition and the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fitness. It's like, yeah, this is maybe also something that maybe by working on I could like, no, I don't know if the speed things up is the right term, but just kind of like, really help the other areas.
Absolutely. And right now that I was talking about it, I was thinking about you because I'm like, you know what? This could be a tip. Like while you're sleeping, you want to maximize that cellular repair. By
Yeah.
that I mean like your organs, your skin, right? Like that's our largest organ. Your skin, your brain, your this. So if you eat a nourishing dinner, and then you wait properly for it to digest and absorb, and then you go to bed, then you have all the components like light, temperature, and you give your body what it needs to repair itself. So skin is something that 100% is going to be speeding up with this. So yeah, I hope you can apply some of these hacks for sleep. I would go with this first. It has really made a big difference for me, and I found that if you take that out of your the way and just kind of learn to have better, like really to have better sleep, then your activity, exercise wise, and your nutrition becomes a lot easier because you have more will, you don't have so many cravings. A lot of our cravings come from lack of sleep. Like we're
Yeah,
tired and we're craving sugar and all these things. So yeah, awesome. Thank you for your question. And thank you
of
for
course.
being here, Melissa. Is there anything else? Or are you
I guess I was just curious. This might, I'm not even sure if this is what kind of question this is, but basically, like, when I wake up, I don't know, I wake up, uh, I get awakened by like the bright sun and things like that. Like, is that like good or bad? Because like, I kind of, I'm like a little torn because I feel like maybe it's better if I was like, I don't know, if I when I wake up, it's like pitch dark, so that like it's like, I don't know if that makes sense. If that so that it's like I'm waking up on my own
Mhm.
versus being awakened by light, or am I just overthinking it? Maybe it's not a big deal either way.
I think it's an amazing question, actually. How do you feel when you wake up, and what time does this happen?
So this year, because of like the pandemic and stuff, I've been able to like not, I basically, I don't use an alarm clock. I don't need it. I'm not I mean, luckily in a situation where I don't need it, I don't need to wake up early. And so I've been wanting to kind of reset my body
Mm-hmm.
in a way. And that's been a journey of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, where sometimes I'll stay up late, and so I'm trying to like work on myself with that. So yeah, personally, I guess I asked because I guess I yeah, I kind of maybe wish I didn't wake up with the sunlight in a way. Like I almost um yeah, I don't know if that even makes, but yeah, I kind of want to uh I feel like it like almost like maybe disrupts my sleep, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I love your question. I really love your question. Like it has me thinking because I'm like, again, right? Like bio individuality. Like if I could be waking up by sun, like I love it, right? Like it makes me
Mm,
feel energized. And now that you're saying, I'm like, I absolutely love this. So naturally, sun is gonna suppress your melatonin as well, your melatonin production. So if you are exposed to sun, you're gonna wake up, and that's just kind of naturally what happens. Now, what's there to manage there around your specific needs is, are you feeling rested when you wake up? Do you feel like you need more hours? It could be that you need to sleep in a little longer, and maybe the way to go is to get some of those curtains that are like block the sun, so you
blacked
can
out.
have your,
Yeah.
yes, yes, and then maybe getting an alarm clock that has like the sun feature or the light feature. So whenever you have a time that works for you, you know, whenever you feel like you get up at 6, you feel horrible. And when you wake up at 7, you feel so much better in your day. And then just kind of manage that light. But if you prefer, like ideally, we want to wake up naturally with the sun. And it doesn't work if you're going to bed at 11, 12, 1 o'clock, right? Because then you don't have
Yeah.
maybe the amount of hours that you need. So there are, in terms of bio individuality again, there are people that feel amazing with 6 hours of sleep. I feel great with 7 or 8. My husband needs like 12, right? Like it,
Wow. Yeah.
it completely, like during the week, he's a zombie. And then on the weekends, he gets to sleep longer and he's a completely different person. Like, but for
Wow.
work and stuff like that, he needs obviously to wake up a little bit sooner. So it is a case of knowing, like, am I having enough sleep? If you're not waking up rested, I would recommend you to try like some of the hacking. Maybe have your dinner early, try to go to bed. The main repair that happens in your body is between 10 and 2 in the morning. So
Mm.
ideally, all of us and we're all different, but ideally we want to be asleep by like a little bit before 10 or by 10 so that that repair can happen. And then by then, I mean 10 to 6 that the sun starts to rise up, then that's more or less 8 hours, right? And it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be 8 hours, it depends. But I love your question because I don't really have a specific answer. I would say it depends on how you feel, and you might
Yeah.
want to experiment with it.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, yeah, you definitely, hit the nail on the head with I'm not sleeping early. So like that's part of it. Like I'm, I could be going to sleep earlier and that would help in this
Mm-hmm,
situation as well.
mm-hmm.
Also I wanted to just ask if you had an opinion on like sleep meditations and just in general, like kind of sleeping with audio on, and like could that be destructive in any way? I don't know if you had any opinions on that.
My personal opinion is, and it really is very personal because I've tried to do like hypnosis,
Yeah.
meditation, and I put my AirPods and all of that. And in my opinion, I cannot, for myself, I cannot just like wind down and go to sleep. I've heard amazing things about it though. Like when you're sleeping, like you're entering this I guess
The
phase of
theta
sleep,
state.
right? Like where you can be like aware, but you're not, but you're asleep. So then all of these like repetitions and subconscious work and all of that, if you're able, what I would say about that is if you're able to fully like fall asleep and wake up rested, I would say it's probably worth doing because of all the benefits of like subconscious work. But if it's disrupting your sleep, I would say I rather do like my repetitions or visualization or affirmations like in the shower or on my way to work or something like that. But I do think that sleep should be like the number one priority.
Yeah.
When I talk about like temperature and light, I talked about the mask, but I forgot to talk about the earplugs. So earplugs in any drugstore or Amazon, one of those like silicone ones that you can just like make little, you don't want to shove them all the way in there, but just enough to where you block any of those like light noises. So it really is like you're entering this state of hibernation, right? If you want to be a little bit cold
Yeah.
and you want to be a little bit exposed, but no light, temperature is good, so your body can repair itself. And if you're able to manage that and add a subconscious component to it, amazing. But if that subconscious component is affecting the way you're waking up, then I would say probably do it at a different time.
Okay.
Yeah. And these
That
are,
makes sense.
I love your questions because you're making me think about those things. I'm like, yeah, I love that. I've been hacking my sleep for the past like few weeks and I feel so much better, but I have not been doing any like subconscious work at the same time. So now I'm like, you know what? It might be time because in the past it didn't work. Like when I put something, like I'm like, I guess I'm just trying to pay attention to it so I can fully wind down. So now that I'm hacking my sleep, it might be time to try
Right.
it and see if it works or not. So this is perfect, Melissa. Thank you so much for your questions.
Of course. Thank you. I just really enjoyed this whole presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I really, really appreciate you being here. And yeah, I'm gonna send a link to Megan so she can post it on YouTube if there's anything we missed you wanna check back. And if anything, you can always send me a message on Instagram. I am there as Fair Health Coach. And my website is the same. It's www.fairhealthcoach.com. So if anything,
Awesome.
just hit me up. Thank you so much and have a good night, okay?
Thank
Thank you for
you
everything.
too.
You're very
Bye.
welcome. Take care. Bye bye.